Hey, welcome back to another Career Explorations video. As you can see, I'm on location again, but this time the location is a little bit more personal because our lesson's a little bit more personal. I'm in my basement office where back in the spring, this is where I did my classes with my kids. So I wanted to come down here again and just kind of like make this lesson a little personal. And that'll make a lot of sense here once we get through our review. So let's go over what we learned last week about SMART goals. Everything we do in planning for our future really should be based off SMART goals. Are my goals very specific? Have I listed exactly what I want to accomplish? Are they measurable? Can I give it a due date or some type of measure that says I've completed my goal? Going back to attainable. Do I have the confidence to know that I'm going to get this done? I can do this. I'm going to reach my goals. Realistic, a little different than attainable. Attainable says more of the confidence lesson, but for realistic, that means it's within my grasp, it's within my time frame, and that gets us to our last one is timely. We want to make sure that we have timely dates set up for our SMART goals. And that gets us to why we're down here. So that's your review. And make sure you're reviewing your vocabulary with your instructors because every lesson is going to wind up building on itself. And that includes our lesson for today and why we're down here and why I said I wanted to make it personal. That's because we're going to start setting personal goals. Personal goals need to be from inside. They need to be connected to you, your spirit, what you want to achieve in life, your goals. And you've noticed I'm doing a whole Mickey Mouse theme, Walt Disney World theme. It's because I really view Walt Disney as a personal mentor. Yes, he died before I was born and all that, but the man achieved things that not too many people on this planet achieved, and they were very personal goals to him. He started off by just wanting to do animation and making kids happy, and that started back in 1928 with Riverboat Willie, Steamboat Willie, my bad, Steamboat Willie. And so out of that little character and that cartoon became Walt Disney World and everything that goes along with it. And along the way, Walt set up SMART goals. He set up, okay, this is what we're going to do now. We're going to set up animation. We're going to have a following. And then we're going to grow the characters. And then the characters are going to grow more following. And then eventually it led to his big thing, which was Walt Disney World and Walt Disneyland. And now they're all over the planet, all over the place. And so he achieved his personal goals by setting SMART goals. So let's go over real quick what personal goals are, and then how we are going to achieve them by using SMART goals. Okay, as I said, I wanted to make this personal because some of my most personal goals in life started when I was in high school. And one of them was I wanted to be in the Army. And so here's a picture of me being sworn in when I was in college. And what makes this picture so personal to me is the fact that the gentleman that swore me in wound up being my mentor, wound up giving me my commission in the United States Army, and then that led me to being able to be somebody else's mentor, where I got to swear in a soldier at Fort Knox almost 15 years later. Very big deal that our perspectives on personal goals really are personal. They mean something to us. So I got to serve my country, I got to be sworn in, I got to have a mentor, then allowed me to become a mentor. And so the personal goals that I've set for myself, you can kind of see around them. I got my commission right here from the United States Army. I was a tanker in the Army, and then I was a video producer, and I'm able to share some media art stuff with you guys, and right now my wife is taping, and it allows us to share our skill sets. So let's talk about how these personal goals get accomplished. First off, I want you to dream big. That goes to our vocabulary word of aspirations. Aspirations are what drive your personal goals. They're what you want to achieve. If you want to be a doctor, you're not going to do it by just watching Grey's Anatomy or any of those medical shows. If you're going to be a doctor, it's going to take a lot of hard work. If you want to go into the career fields, it's going to take that training inside your pathways and then master those techniques. I know in automotive, I had planned on having a manager from Midas come in and talk about his plans. He went through a career tech program too. His aspirations were to own his own garage one day. And so we might bring Cody on at some point in time to talk about that because it's important, because there are so many opportunities out there, career-based, public service-based, as well as college. The second one is refer to your SMART goals, and I'm going to keep repeating that. Refer to them, know they work, and know that you own them. That's your goals. They are personal. Next one is build a battle plan. This includes your short-term and your long-term goals. You absolutely want to have a list of short-term goals and long-term goals to accomplish your SMART goals, so when you do set a personal goals, you're setting yourself up for success and not failure. Next one is set a date for completing your personal goals. I knew when I had to graduate college, I had a date. And I had to accomplish this by a certain date, or else I wasn't going to get my commission on time, and I wasn't going to get my degree on time. And if I hadn't done those things together, my personal goals would have either been delayed, or maybe would have had to have changed them. So set a date. For your personal goal this year, I will get into a pathway of my choice. I will have clear vision of that pathway, and by the time spring break rolls around, I will know my vision, and I'll be able to start pursuing it even better. The next one, this is a big one, and teachers, I really want you to help the students with this one. Start building a reference and a resource list. Those are websites that contain all the information about your pathways. It's a critical thing, so when we start doing our letters of intent and our personal letters to the pathway instructors when we're trying to get in, that we have these resources. We can cite stuff. Say you want to go into culinary, and maybe you want to go to the Food Channel's website and start citing some recipes or citing some of the language that they use in a sous chef environment. So you start building a resource list and a reference list, so you're gaining your knowledge of your pathway ahead of time. Remember, knowledge is critical here because you are in a competition, and I want you to play to win. I want you to have all the advantages to get into these pathways and then to be successful beyond, and then achieving those personal goals. Sticking with the culinary, it takes about 4 years afterwards to get to sous chef status, let alone chef status. If you want to own your own restaurant, your own food truck, knowing these references and knowing how to have a battle plan with the short-term and long-term goals will carry you out there. Next one is you got to have the information and the knowledge. When you do, it builds a confidence in you. If you were to take a look, I have 2 different libraries set up. One of my personal library over here that I reference a lot of, and then one where it's just the books I've read from college and from the Army and from education, from going to Wright State and from going to UC and going to Miami. So I've built up information and resources, and that gives me a lot of confidence that I can go find a solution or find answers to problems that are going to hold me back of my personal goals, because I don't want anything to hold me back. They're going to be attainable. That's the big thing. And I'm going to be accountable for knowing my knowledge. You see how we're using our vocabulary? We're always going back to it. We want to reference that. All right, so after you get all your knowledge, this is probably the most critical one you're going to do in about 2 weeks. You're going to build a contact list, reference list. When we start doing resumes, you want to be able to call somebody, email somebody, and say, hey, I'm getting ready to do my resume. I'm getting ready to do my portfolio. Can I use you as a reference? And it's huge. At a minimum at Ponitz, we're going to have 3 reference letters. And if the students are in good standing, they get one automatically from me, and then they'll go to either a favorite teacher, a pastor. But the one thing you can't have on your reference letters is it cannot be family. It has to be someone outside of your family, and we're going to go over those lessons big time. But you want to start having that contact list now. And you know what? That gets us down here to the biggest one. Believe. Believe in your aspirations. Believe that what you're trying to achieve is attainable, it's realistic. Believe in your mission. Believe that what you're working towards is absolutely a passion that you're not going to let go of. Being personal down here, one of the things that I absolutely enjoy is looking and saying, okay, what's my next step? What's my next personal goal? And one of them is, I coach soccer. And I've been doodling and doing these blueprints about building my own soccer facility. Something that just would go above and beyond. Training for the kids, all different age groups, indoor, outdoor. Is it realistic? On the border. My wife will tell you I'm kind of crazy for thinking that's going to happen, because this would be like millions and millions of dollars. But we're watching a show about a family that actually took on something very big. They're renovating an entire resort down in the Bahamas. And they believed in their goal so much that they sacrificed all of their life savings to make this a long-term personal goal for them, a place where they can retire and raise their kids. And so I'm thinking, maybe one day, but I have to start somewhere. I have to start with my short-term goal, at least having a vision, having a plan for this. And then, who knows, maybe we'll start setting up some long-term goals. And that hopefully will achieve the personal goal of one day being able to own my own soccer complex, my own soccer business. So anyway, review the personal goals. I'm going to be sending the slideshows to your teachers. And remember, the biggest one out of what is a personal goal is your belief in you, that you're going to achieve these goals and that they are going to come true. And it starts by setting those short-term goals, those long-term goals, creating your SMART goals, building your battle plan, and then enjoying it. Own it. Remember, life is a competition. Play to win. Anderson out.